While touring our new house, my father-in-law said, "Nice place, wonder who'll be living here next year." I handed him a pair of slippers with the embroidered words, "Not you." He thought it was a joke until I deactivated his guest code that same night. So I 38 male just bought a house with my wife, 34 female took us year. As of saving, we're not rich, we're not flashy, just regular working people who finally got something to call, or on a small 2-story house in Asheville, North Carolina, cozy, quiet, big enough for their life. We're building. Her dad, let's call him Richard, is the problem. Richard is one of those old school my way or the highway. Hey guys, retired military, thinks being loud equals being right, has no sense of boundaries, none. He walks into people's homes like he owns the place, has opinions on everything. And I mean everything from our finances to the color of our couch. When we were just dating, I kept quiet. When we were engaged, I held my Tom. Now married for almost 3 years, I tried to give him space, but buying a house that pushed everything to the surface. We invited him over the day after we moved in, boxes still everywhere. We were exhausted but happy. Richard walks in, looks around, doesn't say congrats, doesn't say looks nice, just walks slowly from room to room, squinting like he's inspecting a used car. We're in the living room. He sits down, and my reading chair, looks around, and says, "Nice place, wonder who'll be living here next year." I stared at him. My wife froze. She tried to laugh it off, but I was done. I walked out of the room, came back with a small gift bag we bought just for this Momo. I handed it to him. Inside was a brand new pair of house slippers. They were navy blue on the top, stitched, and big white thread. "Not you." He laughed aloud, fake belly laugh. "Good one," he said. "Good joke." I didn't laugh. Later that night, after we dropped him off at his hotel, I logged into the app for our smart lock system, deleted his guest code. I get a call at 7:15 am. "Hey, my code doesn't work, door won't open yet." I deactivated it. Long silence. "What, you're not welcome to just walk in here whenever you feel like it. This isn't your house, I'm family. That doesn't mean you get a key or code. You're not entitled to that." Another pause. "This is about what I said yesterday, isn't it? You're being sensitive." "No. This is about years of you thinking you can bulldoze your way into our lives. I'm sitting a line. If you want to visit, you knock, you call first. You wait for an invite like a normal person." He hangs up, doesn't say another word. He shows up again, stands outside, doesn't knock, just stands there staring at the Ring camera. "Wife is at work. I'm home watching him from the office." He stands there for 5 minutes, doesn't ring the bell, doesn't call, just lawyer. Years. Then he leaves. Wife gets the guilt call. "You're really letting him treat me like this?" She says, "You're the one who made a passive-aggressive comment the moment you walked into our new house. I was joking. Even if you were, it's not funny. And you do this all the time. You never apologize. You act like you're always right. It's exhausting." He tries to say so. I'm thinking about how on the controlling one that she's different when she's around me. She hangs up on him. No word, no visits, no texts. We start to relax. We actually enjoy your home. Then one Sunday, we go out for brunch, come back, and there's a note taped to the door and shaky handwriting. "I was just trying to be part of your law life. You've made your point. No name, just that like it's some kind of guilt or not." Wife cries, not because she feels guilty, but because this is exactly what he does, always flipping the script. I take the note down, throw it in the trash. We're not cruel people. We just want a normal life. A home that feels safe, not one where someone barges in and makes rude comments and opens a fridge like it's theirs. I told my wife he's going to make this about being shut out. But this isn't about a door code. It's about years of behavior, years of acting like we owe him something just because he's your dad. She agreed. But I could tell it hurt her. He tried to pull the sympathy card with the rest of the family, text her brother her. And I tried to visit, they changed the loss. I wasn't even allowed to step inside, left out the part where he mocked our new house, left out the part where I calmly explained boundaries. Suddenly, we're getting cold shoulders from family members who were once neutral cousins. Sends a message like family is family, you only get one dad. I wanted to reply yeah, and some dads are toxic. But I didn't. Instead, I send a single text to Richard, "You can come over when you're ready to say sorry. No passive-aggressive crap, no jokes. Just don't it." That's all. No reply. He hasn't apologized. We haven't invited him. He hasn't tried to come back. But I know it's not over. I can feel it. The silence is just the storm waiting to break, and I'll be ready when it does, because this time the line is drawn. For months later, things were quiet to quite It no costs, no text, no passive-aggressive notes, not even a birthday card. Sarah started saying things like maybe you've changed or maybe we were too harsh. I didn't say much. I knew her heart was soft. She wanted to believe her dad had finally gotten the message. But deep down, I knew silence wasn't his way of giving up. It was just him regrouping. Then, on a random Tuesday morning, I get a call from our neighbor across the street. Hey, just wanted to let you know, there was a guy walking around your yard this morning, tall gray hair, looked like he was checking your windows. Heart dropped. I checked the ring footage. There he was, Richard 6th, 37 am. Walking slowly around a house, hands in his pockets, staring at the side gate, then the back windows, then just standing in our driveway, looking up at our bedroom window. Not knocking, not ringing, just staring. I texted Zero the footage. She didn't reply right away, then later just said, I'll talk to him that night. She calls him. I listen from the other room. It's creepy that you didn't knock, you didn't call, you just walked around a house like a stalker. I was in the neighborhood. No, you weren't. You lived 2 hours away. Long pause. I was just checking if everything was okay to lie to me. You were hoping to get in. Another pause. You act like I'm some stranger. I built your crib, Sarah. I carried you when you were sick. Now I'm not even allowed to step on your porch. She didn't yell. She didn't cry. She just said you're not welcome until you apologize. You've had months. Then she hung up the next day. We woke up to a dead squirrel nailed to our fence. I wish I was kidding. It was hung by the tail right near the side gate, not something a kid would do, not a random animal attack. This was intentional. I for the police report, didn't name names to. Said what happened. The officer took notes, but said unless we had video there wasn't much they could do. I checked the security footage again. Nothing. Whoever did it stayed out of the camera's view. Smart, deliberate. My hands were shaking. Sarah broke down, not because of the squirrel, but because she knew we both did. But we couldn't prove it. A week later we get a certified letter in the mail. It was from Richard's lawyer. Oh no, not a lawsuit, a demand. He was asking for access rights to visit his grandchildren, which we didn't even half. We weren't parents, not yet. We were trying. But it wasn't happening fast. It was a twisted move. We called the lawyer, listed, told him Richard didn't have grandkids. The guy seemed embarrassed, like even he didn't know what the letter was really about. It was a scare tactic, a fake power play. But it crossed the line. I called them. First time I had in months. You send a lawyer. What the hell is wrong with you? He didn't flinch, just trying to protect my future rights. You don't have rights to people who don't exist. People. Cost then said you two won't last. I give it a year before she's begging to come back home. And right there, that was it. This wasn't about slippers or door coats or boundaries. This was about control. He never wanted us to succeed without him, never wanted her to grow up, never wanted me to be the man in her life. And now I was. And that scared him. That night I reinforced the fence reposition. The cameras, added 2 more around the yard. We slept with the alarm system armed. But we didn't sleep much. So it was quiet. I could tell she was trying not to let this destroy her. She loved her dad once, but now he was turning into something else, something bitter, something dangerous. Next day, a sheriff's car pulls into our driveway. My heart drops again. Not because we did anything wrong, because I knew who sent them, Mr. and Mrs. Adams. We got a welfare check request. Someone reported possible domestic trouble. Sarah nearly laughed. The officer looked uncomfortable. And he issues here. We told them we were fine, showed him the footage, told him about the letter, the dead squirrel, the early morning visit. He just nodded and said, sounds like you're dealing with a real piece of work. He didn't say it outright, but we both knew who filed the report. I couldn't take it anymore. I wrote him a letter, printed, signed. It said, you've made your position clear. You want to punish us for setting boundaries. You don't care about our peace. You care about control. We're done playing your games. You are not welcome near home. And if you come again uninvited, the next step is a restraining order. Drew a Senate by a certified mail. I knew it wouldn't fix anything, but I needed it documented because this wasn't a family argument anymore. This was war, and it wasn't even close to. Over 3 weeks after I mailed the letter, we heard no. Total silence. No knocks, no calls, no emails, no signs of them at all. The quiet was louder than anything he'd said. I started sleeping again. Sarah smiled a little more. We planted a few shrubs in the backyard. We even talked about trying again for a baby. Maybe got the message. Maybe finally he was gone for good. One night around 3:12 am, we walked to the sound of a smoke alarm blaring. I jumped out of bed. Smoke was pouring through the hallway. Sarah screamed. I grabbed her and ran down the stairs barefoot, almost slipping on the hardwood. Flames were looking at the Side wall near the back door, I didn't think. I grabbed the extinguisher we kept under the sink and tried to put it out. I don't remember how long it took. But I do remember the firefighters telling us later if you didn't wake up when you did, this whole place would have gone, the official report arcing there. Fire started near the outdoor gas meter right where the security cameras didn't point. We were lucky. Lucky to be alive, lucky. It didn't spread further. I checked the footage again. And again, nothing. Whoever did it knew the blind spots. We got a visit from his lawyer again. This time, he had a letter. Richard was petitioning for grandparent rights, claiming emotional distress, future bonding opportunities. And get this, mental instability caused by undue influence of the son-in-law me. He was trying to paint me as the manipulator, the abuser. Said I turned Sarah against her family. Said I was mentally unfit. He was playing the long game, trying to destroy your life from a distance, now with fists, with paperwork. I went to my own father, now my dad, and I aren't close. We talk maybe twice a year. But he's a retired cop, taught me right from wrong, straight shooter. I told them everything, showed him the videos, the squirrel, the fire report, the letter. He didn't say much. Just shook his head and said, "You sure it's him?" I passed. I wasn't sure anymore. It all fit. But we had no proof, no fingerprints, no camera shots, just a pattern. But that was enough for him. "I'll make a few calls," he said. "Tell Sarah to check her mother's name on the county deed records." I had no idea what he meant. We did as he said. Sarah pulled up the property record for Richard and her mom's house in there. It was 2 weeks after our wedding. Her mom's name had been quietly removed from the deed. She never even knew he forged his signature, which meant everything was in his name now. If she left him, she'd walk away with nothing. This was what he did. This was the real man behind a mask. Control wasn't just his hobby, it was his entire existence. Sarah called her mom, told her everything, the fire, the threats, the forged documents. At first her mom denied it, said we were being unfair to him. Then Sarah emailed her a copy of the new deed. Silence, then crying, then a whispered. I didn't know that night her mom packed the bag, left him. We bought her a bus ticket and told her she could stay in our guest room as long as she wanted. She showed up the next day with one suitcase and a trash bag full of clothes. No makeup, no jewelry, no wedding ring, just sadness in silence. Sarah's mom made a statement. It to the police. She told them about the threats, the gaslighting, the documents, years of verbal abuse. She also told them what she found hidden in the garage, a half-from pair of gloves and a receipt for a can of Accelerate paid in cash. But the timestamp matched the day before the fire. They got a search warrant. They've found more notes, sketches, maps, a full folder labeled contingency. This man had planned how to destroy us and nearly pulled it off. Charged with arson, forgery, attempted insurance fraud, his own home policy, and filing a false police report. He denied everything, said we framed him, even boy and Siri's mom, for planting evidence. Didn't matter, the evidence was solid. They took him. And wearing the same jacket he wore the day he mocked our house. Nice place, he'd said. Wonder who'll be living here next year. Now we knew what he meant. He wasn't joking, he was planning. I didn't take him seriously. I thought he was just a loud old man with no filter. Thought I could outsmart him with a lock code. But he didn't care about doors, he cared about controlling. When I took it from him, even in a small way, he lost his mind. And I almost lost my life. We all almost did. Sarah cut all ties. Her mom filed for divorce. We rebuilt the backside of our house, installed even more cameras. I changed the loss again.